Hello everybody and welcome back to Tlatoani, where our culture has dropped a little bit from where it was. I think the peak was 44. So I believe that the reason that has happened is because these houses haven't fully come online yet, and these over here haven't fully come online yet. That's the theory, anyway. So we need to get all of that going, for sure, and our culture needs to tick up a little bit. So if we look at what comprises our culture score, education, religion, diversion, and that's it. That's all we have access to at this point. So we need this alcove, of course, to have a job. This sentry post is currently strained. So we might want to consider another sentry post, perhaps like up over here. It's not very far away, but that's okay. This sentry post is ideally supposed to be taking care of these homes. It's also taking care of like all of this and all of this. So yeah, we should probably think about a sentry post somewhere out over this way as well. Maybe one like down over here somewhere. I'm just looking, there's all of this forest here. We could put one here, actually. That's an interesting position for one. So we would need to go into, I always forget that sentry post is under health and safety. Okay, so we could put it there, and that will help relieve the strain here by quite a lot. Okay, the temple to Tlaloc is still, you know, quite a lot. We could maybe get another temple to wow, I can't say that word apparently. Tlaloc. We could maybe get another one of these going somewhere. The main issue is symmetry. Like, I don't know that there's all that many places that we would actually have the symmetry to do this. This would be awful symmetry here. Even here. Okay. Yeah, I just don't think that we have a spot that we can do this. At least not and have good symmetry. So the question is, do we care about the symmetry, right? Well, maybe. I'm going to give that one a maybe. Okay, so up over this direction, we've definitely got this location that we could get farming. And how are we doing on our food? We have a little bit of maize stored. Let's check in on our markets here. That's got 2 out of 20 maize. This large market up here has 27 out of 40. The market down over this way has 1 out of 20. This one has 0 out of 20. And this one up over here has 15 out of 20. I think we should probably have more food production. So let's put in a farmer's hut here. And we're, of course, going to have this be half maize and half other types of food, because having varieties of food is good. So something along the lines of that. And we'll get that farm online. Now this one's almost ready to go. And there's this Chinampa here that still needs to happen, but we need to give this a little bit more time out over here. But we can definitely get that farm going. That'll be good. So our culture is currently 42 out of 50. So it's come up by 1. Okay. So these homes have everything they need for the moment. We just need more people to move in and start working some of these jobs over here. Specifically, we need this shrine to get built and this shrine to get built. And that means that this mason yard needs to make more artwork. It is making some, so that looks good. That should eventually happen. And this alcove is strained. We need someone to work in this alcove. Okay, so we're up to 43 out of 50 now. And let's check down here. Needs access to a sweeper and needs access to clean water. So I don't think there's a well dipper all that nearby. There's a sweeper right here. So that shouldn't be a big deal over here, but I don't think we have a nearby well dipper. There's probably a well dipper up over here somewhere. I know that there's one here. There's probably one out over this direction. Yeah, there's one here. Yeah, I think a well dipper over here does make sense. Not necessarily there, but here. Okay. So we'll do that for now, and then as far as access to a sweeper goes, there's one literally right here, so we'll just give it some time. That should be okay. In theory. We may also need some diversion out over here. So we've got education here. I'm wondering about a sauna over this direction. Do we have one? Oh, it's right there. Okay, cool. So that should be okay. That should provide diversion here. There's an alcove up over this way. I think we should probably consider another alcove over here. So that would be like this. We'll just put that there. And that'll take maybe some of the strain off of this alcove and provide some services out over here to places that are definitely needing it. Ambience and ambience over here. Okay, sure. That's completely understood. Hey, we're up to 45 out of 50 now on our culture. So that looks good, and I would love to see more progress being made up over this way. Sadly, we just need a lot of art up here. This mason yard is producing, so we're currently at 3 out of 10 art in this mason yard, so these should get built eventually. Right? Eventually. Hopefully. So we're waiting on some of this up here to get built, but this is all fairly minor expansion up here. This is not a huge deal to get that dealt with. Our culture is at 45 out of 50 at this moment. We just need to get it up by 5. That's it. We're short of common workers, and unemployment is becoming a problem. Okay. I'm not entirely sure I agree with that, but sure. Ambience down over here. We can definitely do something about that. So we can make this block be stone roads. And then this doesn't really connect out over here, but something like that. Did this become a stone road here? That's actually a swamp section. Okay, so that's not going to become stone road, but at least it's hidden behind this trading post. That's fine for now. We could also take that out and put in a Chinampa, but that's a fairly high traffic intersection. I don't know if we want to do that right now. But I would definitely like to get this common home upgraded. And yeah, this now has everything that it needs for the moment. So that was good enough. Excellent. So this mason yard is up to 5 out of 10 artwork. Continuing to work away at that. We know that we need a grand total of 90 artwork up here for that shrine. Or for the shrines and the alcove. So that's going to take some time. This alcove over here is still being worked on. And this well dipper is still being worked on as well. Okay. It should get dealt with pretty soon, though. We've got timber right up over here. So that's not a big deal. In theory, that should be done soon enough. So these cotton weavers are good to go. We're making ludicrous sums of money. So I'm going to bump up the wages again. And again. What's the maximum wage? Oh, this is the maximum wage. Okay, so we're at 160%. That is the maximum wage that we can pay. That sounds good. We're at 274 out of 244. So we have a lot of commoners, and we don't have enough jobs available. So my question is, where are these unemployed commoners? I wish there was a way to see that. That would be a very useful thing to know. Regardless, we're at 46 out of 50 now on our culture. What is it that's coming up? It is the religion and the education. Okay. So adequate service usage on this education here. And we would love to get additional supervision here from this shrine. Actually, it would be this shrine. But unfortunately, that's not happening because we're not moving the artwork in here. So I want to check on this down here. This is at 15 out of 10 artwork here in this mason yard. Yeah, we're just not moving the artwork is what's going on. So this one, that's a cloth weaver. This one up over here is at 10 out of 10 artwork. Eventually, it should get delivered up over here, right? Eventually. In theory. If we can get that done, that would boost up this education, and that would get us pretty close to finishing off our culture, I would think. That plus the additional alcove over here. And this alcove is wanting to be supervised by this, which it would be if we could get that built. Nobody seems interested in delivering any artwork up here, though, which is a little odd. This just needs artwork now as well. And this well dipper, nobody's interested in delivering that either. And that's just timber from this porter yard. So I'm not entirely certain why we are not bothering to do any of these things. That's awkward. Let's boost up the speed a little bit here. And let's see if they actually get around to doing this. Hang on, did I just see? Ah, yes. Now they're finally working on this up over here. So the Shrine to Quetzalcoatl, the alcove are both completed. They're just looking for jobs at this point. The shrine up here, it only needs 4 artwork now, so it just took a while. Okay, this alcove is done. This well dipper, nobody's moved the timber yet. I'm sure they'll get there eventually. This improved sweeper up over here is still strained, and we could definitely think about, I mean, we've got a sweeper here, we've got a sweeper here, and I think we have a sweeper up over this way too. I don't immediately see it. Maybe we don't have a sweeper up here. We probably should. So let's put in a sweeper somewhere up over about here. That'll be good. That'll hopefully help reduce the strain on this improved sweeper, at least a little bit. So that looks great. I would love to get another one of these temples built eventually, but for right now, that's not a thing. So we still need 4 artwork up over here, and let's boost up this speed a little bit again, because that seemed to trigger them to actually build the buildings, so that's neat. We're up to 47 culture now. Okay, so at this moment, this shrine is providing services, and that means that this alcove is not yet... These alcoves, actually, are not yet supervised. This sauna is only partially supervised. Okay, we're up to 48 out of 50 now. So we can see that we have some supervision here, as much as we're going to get. So that looks good for now. We just need this shrine to come through. And yes, our roads are a wee bit flooded out here. It's fine. It's absolutely okay. This field still needs digging. Wow, okay. And these chinampas are being worked on. I think this is why we're seeing some slow construction out over here. I think our porters are all very busy out on these chinampas. And to be honest, we probably don't care so much about getting this going, because the game is going to be... Ah, here we go. We did it. The Emperor is sufficiently impressed that he's chosen you for promotion and a new assignment within the Empire.
A herald came to the palace in Tecpayocan today, with word from Tlotzin, the exiled Tlatoani of Tenanyocan, and Alconahuacatl, Tlatoani of Azcapotzalco. He was dressed in the most extravagant finery and probably belonged to the royal court, but his demeanor was not conversational. He's offering terms of peace, but demands an answer by sundown. It is strange to think that the enemies we traded wounds with for many years should now make overtures at diplomacy, but apparently our stubborn perches on the mountain and respectable show of cultured extravagance has convinced the Tepanecs to reconsider our value, and domestic squabbles among their allies may have weakened their position. The Colwa, who supported Tlotzin's treasonous brother, have reinforced Tenanyocan, and Alconahuacatl is seeking support in restoring Tlotzin to his throne. It seems he would rather have us as allies against the Colwa than see us persist as a thorn in his side, or expend the blood and treasure needed to raise our cities. This would not be an equal partnership. We would need to bend the knee to the Tepanecs, in the process betraying our masters at Xaltocan and surely earning the fury of Chiconquao and his allies. But in exchange for our allegiance and assistance in securing Tenanyocan, Alconahuacatl has promised our chief the right to lordship over Chapultepec, a formidable stronghold of Toltec origin presently occupied by other vassals of the Colwa. How he intends to achieve this is unclear, but a conquest on this scale would make Huitzilihuitl Tlatoani in his own right. If we refuse, the runner promises that he will return from Azcapotzalco with the blankets, armor, and other grave goods appropriate to our own funerals.
Okay, so we just did the floating gardens. This one is the one that we did not succeed previously, but it looks like we have a new mission available here. And the question is, would succeeding this one also give us a new mission? Or is this a one or the other sort of situation? I don't know. That's an interesting question for sure. So these are definitely ones we've already done. This is a very hard, and let's just begin this, and we may come back to this one later if it feels like we need it. We'll find out.
10th day of the month of Mountain Feast, in the year of 7th house. I was standing watch on the battlements of Tecpayocan on a cold night, when I saw Chief Toscuecueshli come to the palace to inspect the west gate, guarding the approach to Xaltocan. He stumbled for a moment coming up the steps, and his counselors had to help him to his feet. Our chief is no longer as spry as he once was, and with our newfound service to the Tepanecs rendering old alliances moot and present loyalties uncertain, it is rumored he is anxious to secure an advantageous marriage for young Prince Huitzilihuitl. After taking counsel with Tlotzin, the exiled Tlatoani has suggested he be wed to Totomiyawa, a noble woman with ties to his Alcoa cousin in Texcoco. Her family descend from an ancient Toltec bloodline, and such a union would both ennoble our dynasty and help legitimize a claim upon the seat of Chapultepec. Chapultepec will not be secured solely by political maneuvers, however. Atenco is both fertile and well-forested, and once this marriage is consummated, Acolnahuacatl intends that the prince will field a large fleet of war canoes to aid in the combined assault upon the stronghold, which he intends for the next spring. To disguise our intentions, we will use this fleet at first to harry the traders who pass south from Xaltocan, exacting tolls upon their traffic in goods and slaves. The chief believes the Tepanecs do not yet entirely trust us. Their Tlatoani will be watching us closely and will be expecting punctual tribute in timber and men to assist in the war against Xaltocan. It would be wise not to disappoint him.
Did the voice actor just punch the microphone? That seems like a me sort of move. Okay, so to demonstrate our loyalty, we must assemble a fleet of war canoes to assist in the assault on Chapultepec and aid in the war effort against Xaltocan. We need to construct and provision at least 5 war canoe wharves, and we have 6 years to do it. Obsidian and salt for your blades, blade nappers, and armors can be imported, and yep, that seems fine. So we need to construct war canoe wharves. So presumably, okay. So they're pretty large. And then, of course, we're going to need prosperity, culture, might, and prestige. But all of those, well, the might is pretty significant. The rest are not so bad. So we're starting with a temple to Tlaloc, and we've got a plaza over here as well. And we've got a decent amount of farming going on over here. Are you at 32 out of 32? Yes, so are you. So there's definitely some farming occurring here. That seems reasonable. I'm wondering about our timber situation. So that is currently producing... Okay, so here's a couple of sawyers. There's a farmer's hut here that is producing cotton. We've got some cotton weavers over here. So we can produce cotton, and we have access to clay. These are rocky outcrops. Do we have access to stone? It looks like that's a negative. Okay. So we don't have access to quarries. That's definitely noted. Library. That's a new building. Instructing our nobility. Okay, cool. So for right now, we need to be thinking about how we want to do these war canoe wharves. And I think the answer is that we basically just want to put them right here. So that pretty much means that we can put in canals right here, like this. Now that's going to be a little awkward for us. And I kind of want this canal to connect over to here, like this. And then we can Chinampa everything that's out over here. This is a lot of Chinampas, to be sure. And then this would need to be canaled out over this way. Okay, so we'd need a canal that comes through like that to be able to Chinampa all of this. That's a canal still. Hang on. Nope, I want Chinampas. Okay, so we'd get rid of all of that, and this is going to be a pretty long-term project. We can't actually come here, so that means that this has to be canaled, like that. And then Chinampa this, And then Chinampa, all of that. Like that. But we also want to Chinampa this out here. So this is swamp, that's fine. We only want one layer of Chinampa here. So that's going to take a little while. I think we should probably consider putting in a porter yard right about here. And then having some road that connects down kind of like this for now with the existing road network. And then this porter yard would be intended to have timber and also clay. Actually, we should have this be on getting timber and getting clay, like that. So it would be all about delivering that all to this area, right? So that looks good. We've got this accepting fish. It should also accept some clay. And we've got timber up in this area. So we're currently importing maize and salt. We're probably going to have to continue to import maize. We export timber and export cotton. That seems good. Import, import, export, export. I'm wondering where our timber tribute is. It's not set up currently, I don't think. Okay, so that's noted for now. And this area over here, we can have be additional fishing wharfs. So what I'm thinking right now is we extend out this road a little bit. There's going to be some awkwardness over here for sure. We can put a wharf here and a wharf here. So 5 wharves should be enough for that. And then this would be our military wharf over here. So that's going to take a while to get all of that done. That's understood, but we don't really have other objectives for right now. So let's keep an eye on how our food is doing. This is set to balance maize, chili, and fish. Okay, so that's absolutely fine for right now. I want to get rid of our import of maize here. I think the import of salt is necessary, and the import of stone is necessary. Importing timber, no, don't do that. And we are accepting clay. Okay, so that seems good for now. We may need to import obsidian. We will see what ends up happening for that. I'm not sure if we have to supply our war canoes with weapons and armor. We probably do. So that's understood. We will likely have to get a source of obsidian going. So what do we got up here? This well dipper is currently strained, and another well dipper up over on this side actually makes a lot of sense to me. So we would put that in right about here. It would fit. Looks good to me. And we'll get that going. Excellent. But it is about time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to work on getting this area all chinampa'd up. It's going to take a little bit of time. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.